Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
Oh man. Okay. Just watched a movie called Saturday Night. About I guess I'm not gonna call it I guess it's about the origins of Saturday Night Live, but like it's a playful, I guess. I don't know, like them trying to get the show on time and getting the green light from the bosses upstairs and all that shit. It's kind of a metaphor itself for probably most of these guys' careers, especially like if they're trying to maybe push the limits on what's possible and what's doable and what's to be creative. And I'm going to say this: I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. I hung on to it. I laughed. Some of it is interesting because they did some old school style jokes that I laughed at, and then something that would be more like a newish joke. The J.K. Simmons joke is fucking. That was the burn. Like, oh my god, that was fucking a little dark but funny. But it's also about creativity and being able to, I guess, push through barriers to get what you want done. Now, do I know the real people? No. Could this be a majestic take on maybe what they went through? Maybe. But as a movie, it's still enjoyable, right? And Jason Reitman, I think I'm saying his name right. Like, he has some good work, man. He does. He's talented. So he kind of balanced the movie between, I guess, some subtle things about what really happened back then, some make-believe things to make it feel more majestical, I guess. And obviously, it's a comedy show. You want comedy throughout it. And it was okay funny, right? Not the funniest thing for me, because some of the old style jokes, I'm just like, was it funny because it's ironic or something? Or is it like just that super duper dry humor, or like Andy Kaufman in like a vacuum, like purely awkward comedy type of shit. But it was still enjoyable. Like I enjoyed the movie, and I guess the ode to the old show that I never really got into. Honestly, I never really liked Saturday Night Live, but I love film, and this is a movie, and I'm watching it, and it turned out all right. Geez, what else? Once again, I have no nostalgia for these characters at all, or for the actual people. Right? Obviously, I've seen a bunch of Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd and these type of guys in movies before, but I don't have that Saturday Night Live. They're just showing up like they're brand new to the world type of nostalgia for these guys. But they made me care about the characters, and kind of you can tell who they're acting as, right? It's the Chevy Chase guy. I was like, that's kind of like him. That would make me think it's damn near like the guy. I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking cool. But yeah, it's just a solid movie. It's once again some subtle things about creativity and art that have to be in here because they're getting stonewalled by the corporate NBC guys who are just trying to piss Johnny Carson off. So they have to fight for their art, at least somewhat in the movie, which means you have to talk about creativity and why it's important and shit like that. All right, it wasn't overwhelmingly about that, so you won't be, I like those kind of movies, but other people might be bored to death by shit like that. I think what the creators did was perfectly balance that in there, along with funny, right? Comedy. So I say well done. I say well done. You got anything, Jesse? Do you want to say anything?
Yeah. So I think, I think there's a lot of tension in the film just because the moment there's a lot of buildup.
Yes.
So there was a constant theme, and in the end that at least in the beginning of when they opened, that it was a success. So
Yeah.
So a lot of times that can take away the suspense, but they built it in. Uh, they did keep it constant, like by having a lot of constant movement. It flowed.
Yeah.
Um, I think it kept me guessing a lot because I was trying to, like, uh, relate. Okay, who's this character? What's going on? Like they were very recognizable
Yeah.
immediately. Like their mannerisms were very right on. Like
Yeah, they're pretty good.
so I
Yeah.
think they did a lot of work to try to imitate things like so precisely that I couldn't tell like what they invented and what they
Yeah.
actually it was hard to tell what was actually real or what they just threw in there.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah. So overall, I think it kept interest most of the time. Like it was they had good build up and
Yeah.
uh, yeah yeah that's about it.
I mean, the underlying thing of the movie, like, or if you want to say there was a villain in the movie besides, like, I guess the corporate NBC guys, it was like Time. Like, Time was their villain that they had to fight against to, and like get all this organized all in time to go actually like live on TV. So like that little thing of tension there, like kind of underneath all the comedy and shit like that, and the I guess the attempts at nostalgia and all that stuff, like it worked to where like right the tension, like will they go live or not? Will they make it on time? Will it be organized? Will the actors show up? Will they have the exact skits they want, or excuse me, sketches according to Lorne Michaels, like the exact sketches they want? Did they have them in order? Wardrobe, all that shit. Like it crescendos near the end, like right before they go live. And obviously, we all know it works out because Saturday Night Live is still going. I think. I never watched it. Right? I just thought Mad TV was funnier for me personally when I was a kid. But whatever. So yeah, like there's a tension and a drama, and there's essentially a protagonist and an antagonist, which aren't. I guess Lorne Michaels would be the protagonist, but I don't think so. I think it's the cast, the entire group trying to get this project forward, right, is the protagonist. It's the Saturday Night Show itself is the protagonist. And the antagonist is, I guess, corporate suits and, time and disorganization and all that shit. So, yeah, it's a well-rounded movie. It's just a solid fucking movie. Do I recommend? Yes, I do. Go check it out. I think it's like an enjoyable little movie. Is it over the top greatness? No. Is it even overly over the top funny? No. But it's just a solid movie. It's like, okay, if you got nothing to do and you want to watch a fucking movie, here you go. Something that's like solid, that it's not gonna make you brain dead when you're done watching it. It's a good selection. Grade. I think I'm gonna go 7.7 out of 10, which for me that means above average, solid. Is it greatness? Is it excellence? No, but it's just a well done movie. I can't complain about it. Now here's the thing where it could be a problem. Not really a problem, but like, how often will I come back to this movie? I probably won't ever come back to it. Like, there's no need for me. Like, I feel like I got it. I understood it. There's no deeper mysteries for me to learn or such terrible flubs that I need to show my friends how bad the movie falls on its face. Like, it's not there either. So it's like kind of like in that weird spot where it's like, yeah, hey, I remember that movie. Yeah, it's pretty good. But it's not changing my life at all. Maybe it does if it's someone who maybe knows that era, went back and or maybe someone who's younger and looked back at the era, or someone who's grew up with the comedy of these guys, right? When you're a kid, you know who Chevy Chase is or Dan Aykroyd, like I did when I was a kid. So maybe you go back when you see this, you want to go back and look at their older shit, and then say, "Oh fuck, this movie's amazing." Oh, they're like these are my comedy heroes. Maybe that. But for me, just an average moviegoer, like I'm gonna watch Batman Begins again, bro, or The Matrix. I'm not gonna watch this, as solid of a movie as it is. So Like it is what it is. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest. I think it's a solid movie, but maybe not something I, you know, rant about how great it is, or you know, even desire to go back and watch it. I'll just be like, hey, if you haven't seen it, yeah, go check it out. Like that's all I can do. Jesse, you want to recommend it or grade or anything like that before I end this?
I'd I'd recommend it, but I wouldn't look for the film myself. Like I wouldn't say, "Hey, go out and watch it," in that way. But I think that there's like if you do relate to it in any way, if you have recollections, like I think for me there is a curiosity of okay, what are they going to put in it? Like anything that is has real life, like we watched the OJ documentary, right? This
Yeah,
wasn't a
yeah.
documentary, but things that um is real. I have a curiosity of like what are they going to put in there? What are they not going to
Okay,
include? So I think I do. So I would look for it for that.
okay.
Um,
It's
but
historical accuracies, I guess we would call it.
y- yeah, or even because I don't even know really the story in this case. I know some of the outcomes, but I don't really know what happened. So like how are they going to portray them? I,
Yeah, I think they drop a
most
little
of what
hints
we
in
see.
there. I think they do
Yeah,
of like oh maybe Belushi died of an alcohol overdose or a heart attack because he was on too many drugs. So they kind of hint at it a little bit. I think they do that in this movie. So they do things
yeah.
like that.
The guy says Chevy Chase is like your life is gonna be this, and you're gonna die in a hotel in some country. I don't know. I don't even know if he did die like that, but I was like, it got me thinking, right? Like maybe it
Yeah,
went like that. It. There's definitely a lot of curiosity with something
yeah,
that you may have some kind of connections or recollections of. If you never watched or you don't know anything about them, then you might not have any curiosity. So
yeah,
that's where uh, I I think people would look up for it at least to look for the movie for that reason.
yeah. I mean, listen, this movie's probably not on a lot of moviegoers' radars, right? We're usually just bombarded with superhero shit and crazy over the top action scene or crazy over the top horror movies, right? That's usually the mainstream box office shit. Which is why this one might fly under the radar, but and this is not because of I think the movie's in god tier greatness, but thinking about the way people vote for things like Oscars and shit like that, you might see this movie there. You might see this movie there. And you're like, fuck it, Saturday night. Oh, that Saturday Night Live movie. And then so this is like a fair warning now. Like it's coherent from beginning to end. It has charisma to it. There's funny parts to it. There's drama to it, and there's a statement about art. So yeah, this could be, even though people may not have known it came out, this might be announced as at least nominated for an Oscar. I seriously mean that. So yeah, once again, go check it out. 7.6, 7.7 out of 10, around there. Solid movie. Enjoy it.